All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So I've been trying to do this podcast for a while on a certain subject, and for some reason, I do it for 3-4 minutes and then it falls apart. And I don't know kind of necessarily how to go about it entirely. But what I want to call it is don't let other people's fears project onto you. And it's not that it's hard to talk about, but for some reason I don't know how to end it a lot of times. But I'm going to start this one more time. If I get through it, you'll hear it. If not, you'll never know it existed. But back to, I'm going to say this. A lot of us were programmed, right, by our parents. It could be our aunts, uncles, grandparents, siblings, whatever, family members, friends. And they project fears onto us to protect us, which is understandable, right? They want to prevent you from maybe getting hurt or falling into the same traps that they fell into. They want you to learn. And sometimes learning things does have a fear component. I don't even care if you're crossing the street as a little person. They want to scare you that a car could come and hit you, but at the same time, they want to make sure that you look left and right before you go into the road. But what I'm going to really get into here, I think, is when people are trying to accomplish something in their life and other people are talking to them or telling them maybe what they should and shouldn't do. And I'm not telling you not to listen to people's advice because, someone could tell you something that could save years of, misery, aggravation, can save tons of money. But I do think a lot of people let others project their fears into them. Or their failures, I should say as well, because I think a lot of people fail. And then instead of inspiring you to maybe, do something or do something better, they want to make you think that what you're doing, either you're going to fail, or, you're dumb, or it's most likely you're going to end up involved with a lot of stress maybe, lose a lot of money, all these different type of things, which, there's nothing wrong with listening to them, but you have to understand a lot of times people don't know what they're talking about always. A lot of people fail because they didn't know how to do things correctly. That doesn't mean that you do or don't know yet, but if you look at life, I don't care who it is, very successful people, if they listen to what everybody else probably told them along the way up, you know what I mean? Will they have ever gotten there? Most likely not. Because I'd say most people are going to project, again, their fears or their mindset into you. And I don't want you to do that or let that happen to you. Because you have to figure out your own way. I don't give a shit who you are. Okay? You are never, and I discuss this a lot, going to take the same path as anyone else. I don't care who you are. You do not live the same life as them. You are not educated the same way. You were raised in a worse environment, a much better environment. You may have a lot more money, a lot more connections, intelligence, education. The list goes on forever. Again, I'm not telling you not to listen to people. But again, when it comes to, I believe, a lot of people that I've ran across, most people were either one or two ways. But I'm going to first say, the one way they were usually was, you can't do it. You got to do this. You got to live this lifestyle. You just got to worry about, having a family. You got to have kids. You got to get a house. You got to do this. And then you can only live like this. Like, most people are going to only tell you what they know. And most people don't know a lot. Then on the flip side, I had other people that were pretty eccentric or whatever, saying, yeah, go for it. Who cares? What's the worst case scenario? You fail, then what? Pick up yourself and go try something else, right? Do it. Kick it in the ass, right? That type of thing. And that's really the mindset I think you need to have, is if you want to do something, and I get you're going to be fearful just by the way, again, you may have been programmed. It could be starting a new business. It may be going back to college. It may be trying something you never tried. It can be as simple as you wanting to get stronger, hypothetically, or you wanting to, whatever it is, right? Just go for it. take some steps, lean into it. You are, a lot of times, have to understand, you are most likely going to fail at the beginning, especially if you want to get into something that is, very extreme or high level. So if you do want to become a very, an entrepreneur that makes millions of dollars, yeah. What do you think? That's simple to do? If it was simple, everybody'd be doing it. Yeah, I can sit here and tell you, to be an entrepreneur, man, that's got to be hard as hell. Not only do you got to, take on everything and figure things out, you got to raise, a lot of money most likely, or make a lot of money, and then you got to sometimes have a certain amount of employees. You're going to have to probably learn how to market online. You're going to probably have to do all these. Yeah, I could sit here all day and talk that shit too. Yeah, I get it. But also, if you went and talked to an entrepreneur that succeeded, he's going to maybe tell you about a lot of things that he failed in, but he's also going to tell you how rewarding maybe it was for him. Maybe his own boss. He doesn't have to listen to anybody. Maybe he makes a lot of money. He has a lot of freedom. It changed he created a lifestyle that he always wanted to lead, not working for someone else. See, my point being here is, all of a sudden I sound like some father myself, is, again, you have to figure out your own path. And I think one of the things that most people can't do is do that. That's where the fear is. And understanding that your path, again, is going to be unlike, most likely, anybody else's. Even if you tried to follow a successful colleague, coach, mentor, whatever the hell he is, again, they don't live your life. They can help coach you, which is wonderful, and educate you, and I've been there. But again, when it comes to fear, I think, is the one thing that is the destroyer of almost everything. And again, I'm not talking fear of somebody who's afraid of heights. I'm talking the fear of kind of believing in themselves and believing that they can do things that they want to do. You can do them. I'm just telling you. It may take a long time to do them. Okay? You may financially not be able to do them right now. You may not have the resources to do them right now. You may not have the education to do them right now. But most likely, it can be done what you want to do. You just have to figure out a way to do it. And again, I am going to wrap it up. Don't let anybody tell you, I think, what you can and can't do in life. And a lot of people, my strength, one of them is when people, I know what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. And I don't even know how successful I will or won't be. But I'm kind of the guy who just tells everyone to piss off because I'm going to do it anyways. A lot of times I do it wrong. I try to take as much information as I can, but I am not afraid to try new things. Where even if I talk to a lot of my friends, family members, colleagues, a lot of them want to experiment, go and try different businesses, go different places. I don't care if it's experimenting, going to a different gym or whatever the case may be. They'll talk about it. They won't do it. And I know one of the reasons they don't do it is because there's that fear. Something is, or it's laziness. So take your shot. But if you truly want to do something, you got to understand, why are you not doing it? Because you're the one stopping yourself from doing it. I know a lot of people don't want to say that, but that's the truth. So anyways, I kind of got through this. It's not an easy one. You got any questions or comments, let me know, but don't let people talk you into the bullshit. Move forward, fail forward. I talk about it all the time. Keep going. And, things are never going to work out the way you think they are. I think I'm going to do a podcast separately on that because the route a lot of times you think you're going on or that you're going to take or where it's going to lead you, I can assure you most likely isn't going to end up the way you thought. It also may be a lot harder than you thought, but also it may be a lot easier too. A lot of people are always talking about the struggle. I remember the first movie I made, I'm just going to say that was one of the worst times of my life because it was the hardest thing. And then when I made my second film, I kind of learned from my first, and it was the best experience of my life, one of them. So it was very interesting. If you take two similar things as far as me creating two films, one was incredible, one was horrific. It's because the first one, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. The second one, I kind of, you kind of learned from it and said, I'm going to make every mistake I kind of made. And believe me, I made mistakes on my second film, but I kind of knew what I wanted and how to work through it. So that's what sometimes life is about too. You may have tried something, just saying, and you may have failed, and you still may want to do it. You may want to go back to it. Go do it. Don't even talk yourself out of it a lot of times because, again, you just don't know what it's going to lead to. All right? It's the journey along the way, I promise you. That's what's going to mean the most. Creating things and doing all these different things are wonderful. But again, I talk about it is the journey, man. I'm telling you, the journey is where it's at. That's what you're going to remember the most. Take care.